Good evening, I'm Ryan McPike. After a record high of 63 this afternoon, it looks like cooler air will continue to kind of ooze down from the north and east, and tomorrow's going to feel a lot different. More on our forecast coming up first, so here's the news with Greg and Deb.
Live from KM3 Omaha, this is KM3 News at 10.
A pit bull attacked this teenager. Now the dog is missing, and the boy is running out of time.
Someone's been targeting a hospital in southwest Omaha.
First, he's accused of sexual abuse and making child porn. Now Brian Street wants to tell his side of the story. Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Deborah Ward.
And I'm Greg Peterson. An Iowa man says he did not sexually abuse his stepdaughter. He says they were in love.
Brian Street is in a Des Moines jail tonight waiting for his trial on federal pornography charges. Just yesterday, his stepdaughter, Tracy Dice, told the judge Street's sexual abuse was the reason she set fire to her family's home in Griswold, Iowa last spring. The fire killed 2 children. The judge gave Tracy Dice 45 years in prison.
Brian Street is 37 years old. He tells us he thinks that sentence is terribly harsh and the justice system has failed.
Street has not only been accused of sexually abusing Dice, who was 17 at the time of the fire, he's also been accused of taking sexually explicit pictures of the teenager. KM3's Mary Nelson talked one-on-one with Street this afternoon, and Mary, you asked him about those pictures.
Street would not comment on the pictures or the specifics of his relationship with Tracy Dice because he says it would interfere with his upcoming trial on those child porn charges. But he did talk openly about his feelings for Tracy the night of the fire and who he thinks is to blame for the fire.
How would you describe your relationship with Tracy?
My lover.
She told the judge that she set that fire because she wanted to kill you.
I know that.
How do you feel about that?
I don't believe that.
If Tracy was as in love with you as you describe, why did she set that fire?
I honestly don't believe she did it by herself.
Who do you think was involved?
Debbie.
Do you think her own mother helped her set that fire?
Yes, I do.
Why hasn't that come out?
Tracy is protecting her. Why? Why? I don't know. Too many things about that night doesn't add up.
What do you mean?
Smoke alarms were brand new, all out in the house. And Tracy was honestly trying to kill everybody. Why didn't she disconnect the smoke alarms? The smoke alarm is what woke me up. When I woke up, Debbie was not in the bedroom. Where was she?
Do you accept any responsibility for the fire?
I should have seen something wrong.
You didn't see anything wrong with having sex with your stepdaughter?
I didn't look at it like that. We didn't look at it like that.
What are your thoughts on going to trial for those pornography charges in January?
Everything has already been taken away from me. I've had to sit here and watch my life be slandered and torn apart for the last 8 months for something I didn't even do. I had to stand there and watch 2 children that I love as my own die right in front of my eyes, and I couldn't do anything to stop it. And now they're going to sentence the woman I love to 45 years in prison. What else can they do to me? I've already tried to give them my life, to give Tracy back hers. They wouldn't accept it. They can't do anything else to me that's not being done already.
I talked to Debbie Street tonight. She tells me she had nothing to do with the fire. She says she would have never hurt or killed her children. Despite what Brian told me, Debbie says she was in the bedroom when the fire started. She says she has no idea why Brian is blaming her now for the fire.
Yeah, very bizarre story. Now, Brian Street told you he and Tracy were planning to get married.
He says they were waiting for her to turn 18 before doing that. Now that Tracy's 18, they're both in prison, and she's never even hinted that she wants to be with Street when she gets out.
All right, thanks a lot, Mary. Well, several months ago, Street sent KM3 News a letter offering to tell his side of the story if we paid for it.
We did not pay him for today's interview. It is our policy not to pay for interviews.
The clock is ticking for a 13-year-old boy who was attacked by a pit bull. The Nebraska Humane Society says Sean Wright may need rabies shots. He was bit by a pit bull named Casper while riding his bike last Friday, but the dog has disappeared.
So he scratched my face, then he went to my front tire, and then grabbed my tire, so I just swing the bike around to get him off.
Now, Sean had about 14 stitches in his foot where Casper bit him. Police have been unable to locate the dog, and if not found in the next 5 days, Sean will have to get a series of rabies shots. 2 women have been arrested in the case. Police say one is Casper's owner. The other is suspected of hiding the dog. According to the Nebraska Humane Society, neither is telling where the dog is. If you know where to find the pit bull, you can call the Humane Society, 444-7800, or call 911. The dog is described as white with black markings. A Bellevue woman is now facing felony charges for the death of a dog. 32-year-old Jessica Bricko lives at this house in Bellevue. She's accused of stabbing her puppy Chief in the stomach. Now, police say Bricko told them she thought the dog had strangled itself and was suffering, so she decided to put it out of its misery. The Humane Society says it could not find any signs that the dog had strangled itself. Today, the Sarpy County attorney increased the charges against Bricko from a misdemeanor to felony animal abuse.
A crash that happened more than 4 months ago has claimed another life. The driver of a van from the Thomas Fitzgerald Veterans Home lost control on Interstate 80 near Gretna in July. 3 men were killed, several others injured. 75-year-old Nancy Vivoda had been on life support since the crash. Yesterday, she passed away. In August, the